notification. That is crazy. Okay, y'all. I don't know why that just made me turn that like that. That's weird. I wonder, can I don't understand what they mean. Y'all give me one moment. Hi. It's been a minute. Let me see if they'll allow me to turn. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Isn't that something? Well, why would y'all do it like that? That's not how I set it up. I'm gonna go out and come back, y'all. Hold on a minute. Actually, it probably really doesn't matter. It wasn't. I don't even want to do too much because it wasn't set like that. I don't know, y'all. I'm just messing with the camera and stuff, so I don't know. Give me 1 second. I don't know why it changed, but we're not gonna worry about it. All right. Peace, everybody. Welcome back. I guess I might say welcome back to me, right? I'm the one that's probably been gone. You guys have probably been here. Anyway, I just wanted to do an impromptu energy check-in. I haven't been on here in quite some time, and so I'm really excited to do a quick energy check-in. Today is the full moon in Libra. Kasai, you cannot sit on me right now, baby. Today is the full moon in Libra, and I'm kind of excited about that. Libra energy, of course, is Venetian ruled, and today also we have Venus stationing direct in Pisces, and so that's interesting because there's something that you've been reviewing um, in in terms of what you value, in terms of your relationships, and as it pertains to this relationship, the Libra full moon is a double whammy. It's illuminating something for you right now as we speak. So I don't want to just jump. Well, I can just jump right in, but I first wanted a minute to just kind of check in and catch up. So I hope everyone is well. If you don't know me, if you haven't been here before, my name is Tasha, but also known as Isla Moon. I not so long ago stopped going by Isla Moon, or shall I say, changed the name of this channel so it did not reflect Isla Moon, only because there were parts of me that weren't included there. So people knew Isla, but they didn't know Tasha, and I've integrated quite the bit of my energy at this point in time, so I wanted to be open about that. Anyway, so this full moon, and welcome in if you're just coming in. This full moon in Libra today is happening at 8:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to tell you, this is a powerful energy we are in. It is indeed. One of the things that's so pertinent about it is that Venus stations direct today in Pisces. So we've already been kind of going over this energy um, in terms of like what reviewing our values, reviewing what's meaningful for us. You know what I mean? What do we value in life? How are our relationships going? Are there themes of imbalance? What needs to be let go of? What is it that needs to actually come back in? Hello, I see you all joining. Welcome in. Yeah, so what are we kind of going over at this time? So this full moon in in Libra, is really putting emphasis on it. And I'm gonna tell you how I know. For a fact, right before I went live, it was so funny because right before I went live, I actually walked down my hallway and I had a load of clothes in the machine. Now let me show you how spirit be working. I had a load of clothes in the machine and I have a new wash machine. So it stopped and I thought it was finished, but then there was a code on there. Stop, because there was a code on there that said UE. And I was like, well, what does that mean? So I had to go pull out the manual. And y'all, when I tell you that that code stood for out of balance, the load was out of balance, right? And so I said, that's not a coincidence because we're in Libra energy, full moon in Libra right now. And it is definitely highlighting something that may be out of balance in your life at this time as it pertains to the Libra portion of your chart, right? And so there's something right now with that Venus stationing direct and this full moon in Libra that are working together. Because keep in mind, Venus is Libra's planet, right? And they're asking you to look what's out of balance. With in the sign of Libra, with the full moon in Libra, it's dealing with some sort of partnership. Now, where that Libra house is in your personal chart, that is where you can probably pinpoint what's been illuminated for you at this time. But we're being asked to take a look at that and clean it up. It's being illuminated at this time. Y'all, this is my son. Bear, come on now. And so we're in a time where we're being asked to actually take a closer look at that and reevaluate. It's so much going on. And it's interesting because the full moon in Libra is air. So you want to be super heady about it, right? But there is an element here with Venus being in Pisces, Saturn still being in Pisces. Mercury, I believe, is still in Pisces as well. It just recently went direct and has not moved back into Aries yet. And so there is an element that is asking you to tap into your intuition and receive, because Venus is also the attractor. It's a receptive energy. It's a feminine energy, right? So receive what those messages are and accept them so that you can release what you need to release and move forward. We're in a time of newness. We know that we just went through the spring equinox. Neptune just moved into Aries. Neptune moving into Aries is all about taking those higher realms of creativity and bringing them over into the physical realm. Having that spark, right? That spark to start it up and get it going. And so I'm super excited about this full moon in Libra today, but it's definitely not for the week because there are some elements of it that feel heavy a little bit, or shall I say, I don't know, slightly agitated maybe. This week was interesting for me. I don't know if you all felt it, but there was a lot going on. It felt like in the atmosphere this week as we were building up to this energy. So I did pull the chart. Um, I did pull the chart. Kasai, can you give mommy a break? You want to say hi? Say hi. Come on, say hi. No, don't sit down on me, but let's peek in and say hi. Say hello. All right, so you want to be in the camera. There you are. Do you have something that you want to say?
No.
No. Okay. And so I did actually pull the chart, and I'm gonna pull it up now so I can just take a little closer look. But I really thought it was interesting that that theme of violence just kept showing up, kept showing up, kept showing up. Definitely not a coincidence in the energy that we're in. All right, baby, get up. Thank you. Give mom a kiss. Thank you. Okay. So with that being said, I was like, and I just decided to jump on here impromptu, you all. I really don't have anything, because it's been a while since I've been on here. So I don't really have anything prepared, but I was like, oh, well, let's just pull up the chart and see what they're talking about. And by they, I mean the universe and all of those benefic energies that are working in our greatest and highest good, even when it's making us dig down and do the shadow work, right? But it's just so we can come up on the other side and be okay. And so give me one moment, y'all. I'm gonna pull up the chart because I did print it. Not print it. I sent it to my email because I'm actually on my phone doing this live stream, and my my program that I prefer to pull the chart is actually on the phone and not actual um on my actual laptop. So give me one moment. Da da da. Ooh, da da da. Da da da. Da 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 da. 6 a.m. Getting out of bed again. Of course it didn't come up. So you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna pull one up really quickly. Day to day. Y'all give me a minute. I just kind of wanted to hop on here anyway because I just ain't been on here in a long time. I thought it'd be dope to come on. I'm in a very different energy than I was when I left. I can't get back in Cause sleep ain't gonna pay the rent day to day. All right, I said 8:22 p.m. Let's take a look. And I'm on the East Coast, y'all. So I'm always talking East Coast time, just so you know. You can convert it. If you don't know what time that is where you are, you can always convert it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so this full moon is at in Libra, 8:22 p.m. At 23 degrees. And so, of course, anytime the moon is full, we already know that it's opposing the sun because that's what a full moon is. When it's a new moon, it's conjunct the sun. When it's a full moon, it's opposite the sun, right? And so we have the sun in Aries today at 23 degrees. And the moon at approximately 8:22 p.m. will be at 22 degrees Libra. Now, what I had not taken into account, and this is probably why it feels a bit crunchy, baby, because Mars is still in Cancer. And even though Mars is direct, it is at 27 degrees of Cancer, which really means this full moon with the sun is making a T square to Mars in Cancer. That can feel a little crunchy. It can. It can feel like Mars is already tired. Let's just be clear. Mars been. I don't know how long Mars been in Cancer, but it's been there long enough to be tired. It does not like being in Cancer. It's exalted in Capricorn, so Mars being in Cancer is already kind of like a little bit of an issue for Mars. Mars is tired. It's been on a long retrograde journey, and so in this T square, like it can feel like what you're trying to move forward in is kind of being stifled today. You know what I mean? You already have your emotions kind of trying your emotions at opposing side with like the core energy of the day, and then Mars being in Cancer in that T square is making it difficult to move forward. You know what I mean? And so the energy can feel a little crunchy. You know what I mean? But what I've learned about squares, anytime you're dealing with squares, you just have to kind of allow them to cause you have to allow them stop. You have to allow them to live in separate spaces, and it's going to bring a level of growth there. Come on. Okay, thank you. It's going to bring a level of growth. You know, something is with this full moon is wanting to be acknowledged, and it may need to end. You know, whatever it is, it's where Libra is in your chart. Um, but you may find it difficult to move forward with that T squared to Mars. I ain't gonna lie, because your passions and motivations and things like you could feel a little stifled is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? The sun in Aries want a red team go. The moon in Libra wants to end something, probably in the realms of an imbalanced partnership, something that is out of balance. And then Aries planet, Mars is in Cancer, like, just get me out of here. Making us once again kind of have to lean into the intuition. Now, where that Mars is receiving support, though, we still have that cluster of planets in Pisces. So it looks like Venus turns direct today. It's at 24 Pisces. Saturn is at 25 Pisces. The North Node is at 27 Pisces. And Mercury is at 28 Pisces now direct. So Mars is working nicely with those. But there is a level of surrender and flow in this energy. And if you're a person who does not work well in water energy, and listen, I understand we're in a fire sign energy. I get it. You know what I mean? And the full moon is in the air sign. But what's dominant in the charts right now is water. There is a level of surrender and flow that's needed to move through this energy that we're in. And you all can apply this to anywhere in your life. You know what I mean? You really can. And it's not just in general. The overall blanketed energy that we're in right now is asking for us to surrender in certain ways and just flow with the energy. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it can feel a little crunchy. I ain't gonna lie. Especially if you're a person who likes to go, 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 or likes to be super heady, in terms of super heady in terms of like logic. A lot of times fire energy, which is all about movement and motivation and passion and being inspired, and air energy, which is all about logic and communication and thought, may have a hard time navigating the waters because water energy is more about feeling emotion. It's a very internal energy, and with air and fire being more external, they're masculine, just from a state of doing, right. um Kasai, mommy needs you. Can you get up for me? Thank you, because your my leg hurt.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, so anyway, yeah, so that air and fire may be having a little bit of a hard time. Y'all lean into your intuition. Um, I'm telling you, because when you think about it, the full moon's ruler Venus is in Pisces, and the sun sign that we're in Aries ruler, which is Mars, is in Cancer. We're in water energy, baby. You're gonna have to lean into it. You're gonna have to lean into it. You're gonna have to trust. You're gonna have to listen to your instinct. If you're not open to the intuitive nudges that are coming through, you're gonna miss. And so this might be a time where you can really kind of rest a little bit, or take time to go internal. Take time to sit with yourself.
Yeah.
Take time to be able to hear your thoughts and what's coming through. Listening to your body, feeling. Take time to feel what. Cause I can. No, don't sit right here. Take time to feel your way through that. You know what I mean? Because it's needed. And really, when we think about it, and it's probably why, because the universe is perfect. My initial teacher always told me that. She always says that. The universe, all right, that's it, buddy. Y'all, my son on one. But anyway, the universe is perfect. Things are always working to balance. And so if we have been blasted with so much, a slowdown was needed, which is why we had, and when you think about it, think about the amount of planets that were in retrograde. Mars went direct first in Cancer before it goes back into a fire sign. It will go back in Leo. And then I think Venus and Mercury went retrograde around the same time. Mercury might have went first. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, because as I stated, I haven't been doing a lot of, or following a lot of the astrology. I've just been kind of been in this very interesting introspective space. You know what I mean? Um, and so yeah, there's a level of flow that you're gonna need to get into. You know what I mean? And so if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. I have the chart up. Also, I just kind of wanted to talk about some other things because we're just in a we're just in an interesting space. Yeah, I haven't been Zaire. No, go that way. Or either you could pull something up and sit right here, but you can't sit on me. We've just been in a very interesting energy, and for a very short amount of time, y'all, I went down the rabbit hole and I got caught up in all of the rhetoric that was happening in the world. Right? I don't know if you all are in the States, but if you are, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I do not normally look at my little puppeteer, y'all. I do not normally I do not normally engage in certain things. Like, that's not really my realm. And so, but I had allowed myself to kind of get caught up in that because, it's easy when, if you're not careful. A lot of it is for distraction and it can pull you off your path, right? And so, quite honestly, I'm back. And I wanted to get back into this space. And so I'm excited to be back here. I've been in a very introspective space. I've been doing a lot of internal work, as well as kind of coming in tune with my spiritual self. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, and I'm going to switch this just a little bit because I done shifted and I don't want to be out of the frame. You know what I mean? But anyway, what I mean by that is I don't know. I know some of you all may be familiar with Sister Myra. I am very grateful for her teachings. And as I began to kind of listen to her, I remember her first lecture I heard. Man, it resonated so much. But she talks about, if you're not familiar with Sister Myra Moss, she talks about um, coming into union with your spirit. And she talks about how your spiritual self is the energy of your opposing zodiac sign. So she teaches six axes of energy as opposed to 12 individual energies. And that information or that layer of her intuitive insight um, has really changed the way that I view astrology. I still look at the individual energies, but for me, it was a different layer. And it made sense to me because some of the things that I wanted to do here, I'm heavy water energy. I'm a Cancer sun sign for those who don't know. And I never realized how much I lived. Like I was living life just kind of in that spiritual space. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but what we have to understand is that, the universe is balance, baby. And so, anytime you're negating any other portion of yourself, then you're out of balance, and therefore, imbalance is going to create some sort of um, there's going to be a repercussion for that or a dis-ease, and it doesn't even necessarily mean a physical dis-ease. Sometimes it can be an emotional dis-ease, a mental dis-ease, you know what I mean? And so you find yourself that you're only dealing with one portion, then you're missing the mark. And so what was missing, I think, in my life, or something that I really needed to work on, I had the spiritual side. I understood I lived a lot of my life feels like in my spiritual world, learning and growing and trying to heal and learning more about myself and things of that nature. But my physical world, it's like I wasn't giving it the respect it deserved. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I am a spiritual being. I am who I am, and I know what I'm here for. But I also signed up to come here to experience this realm, and it's lessons and things that I needed to go through here, that I needed to move on. And so, a large part of the last year has been that for me. And I haven't been here a lot, in this space because of it, because I was very dialed into the 3D for some time, just kind of trying to find the balance in that, and then I was too far over there, and I think this is where it all gets integrated. So, welcome. Y'all get a first-hand look into what goes on with all of this, right? And so, anyway, I'm not gonna stay on here too long. I really just wanted to jump on, talk a little bit about the energy we're in, remind you to flow with what's going on, even though it seems like this wouldn't be the energy of it. Kasai, take that out of there. Take it out of here. To stay within the flow of what we're doing, to remember to nurture you, um, to allow whatever is trying to be removed out of your life right now, let it go. If it doesn't want to be there, let it go. There's something that's more tailor made, and more deserving of your energy, just more aligned, shall I say, with who you are and what you're doing and what your path is. And if there is something or someone that's standing in that place that represents an imbalance and you're unable, there's no room for what needs to come in to come in. So, y'all, take a minute this evening if you can and meditate. Listen to what you're being guided to do. Take a moment to feel into your body. And yeah, that's all I got. I ain't gonna stay on here too long. I'm out of here. I guess I'll see y'all when I see y'all. I don't even know where to stop at, child. They'll tell you how long it's been since I've been on here. I think that's just the X.